Yep, and we're here for the mid-innings review of the finals. Not exactly how we thought it would go. A lot of us expected India to be able to score more than what they eventually ended up with. But 240, I'm hoping, isn't a small total, or rather small enough for Australia. This is the Indian fan in me talking. Time to now, of course, introduce Anirudh Suresh and Nikhil Popat. Anirudh, you seem way too calm for someone who supports Australia. You should be happier, man. You can show some emotions here.
I mean, look, it's. I think it's. I generally feel it's close to a par score. I don't think it's like way too under par. But again, a lot depends on the due factor. Of course, we have seen throughout this World Cup, chasing has been easier in Ahmedabad. The only innings in which the total was not chased was, I think, England versus Australia, and in that also England batted very poorly, and they still almost managed to chase the target down. It was a 290-ish total. So Australia, I think, will be hoping that the dew sets in. But I would amazing performance from Australia. I would say it was a flawless. I don't think you could have asked for a more flawless performance from a team on an occasion like this. Whether it be with the plans, whether it be the tactics, whether it be the fielding, whether it be the catching, I don't think they put a single foot wrong. I feel that even if Australia had been 95% instead of 100%, India would have ended up with 260. But those that 5% extra effort they put into saving boundaries, into taking catches, into even extremely smart field setups like the one you saw
Yeah,
against Sky, where that uppercut over wicketkeeper, they had a man straight back to prevent the boundary, and that resulted in him just taking a single rather than scoring 4 runs. So I feel this was an absolute clinic from Australia. I don't think they could have done any more
yeah,
with
nothing
the
more.
ball. It's
Yeah,
been a perfect fielding performance. Now it's down to their batters to kind of complement their bowling and probably win the World Cup. So the bowlers have done the job. Let's see what the batters do.
100%, and also because this is the kind of performance that we've seen India time and again deliver in the World Cup, at least, and to be on the other side, it sort of feels a bit weird. Something Nikhil also spoke about off air, in our WhatsApp group, about how India lost wickets at the worst possible times repeatedly. It's not like it happened once. Rohit Sharma getting out, Iyer getting out, and Rahul and Kohli before that. निखिल भाई मतलब कहाँ से start करें? Like, how do you even sort of get over this? Because it's to be clear, it's not that this was the worst performance by them. I don't think you can fault a lot of the batters there. Iyer got out to a corker, so did Rahul. Kohli's wasn't nothing dismissive, but I don't know. Like 54 to 63 is not a bad knock. It's not like he didn't contribute. So Nikhil bhai, if you had to fault or if you had to pinpoint something, because we need something clickbaity right now for social media. So please, why is Shubman Gill the culprit?
by sometimes you have to see and appreciate what you get from the opponent as well. I think not every day you can just go on and blame everybody for their efforts, because, as Anirudh said, it was as good a bowling attack, a bowling plan as you can see. You saw how they bowled to Suryakumar Yadav. They did not give him any pace to work with. So if you are able to see that, and you are able to see the ball is not even reaching the batter when it's bowled at 140 Ks, it hasn't been easy. So we can all have our complaints, but it's just one inning that is done. And there is no way to tell you that this score can't be defended. It can be chased. Of course, it can be chased. But does it always mean that you have to blame somebody? No, you don't have to. I mean, if a side which with people who were in such good batting form, if they struggle to adapt on a deck like that, then you have to be positive or hopeful at least that the bowling can make Australia struggle as well. Now, if Head comes out swinging and he gets a 40-50, this could just be the game like how the the second semi-final was, where as a bowling side, you have to be very sure of your plans, move very quickly in terms of your options, and look for 10 wickets. As Anirudh said, they bat deep. India's simple target is 10 wickets. And I'll just feel that from whatever I've read so far on social media, that it feels as if this side has won one game and not 10 games. We are so robotic or expecting perfect performances on every given day that we just can't take failures. And I mean, the one guy who's top scored, we are blaming him to play be a stat padder. मतलब भाई किधर जाएंगे? What will you do? Because this combination, you always ran the risk of being in such situations that when you play 6-5, if you lose more than 3 in the first 30%, you will have to bat deep without taking risk. I mean, it is obvious. So when you take the glory, you have to take this as well. Hoga. matlab, I understand we're all disappointed. We all had high hopes, but the game is not done. The other side has also come to play. So you have to give them that as well. Sorry if it made too much sense. Sorry.
No, I mean that's the beauty of being an Indian cricket fan. We have people saying KL Rahul fantastic knock and supporting him. We also have people saying KL Rahul start padder, ghatiya innings, kya kar diya. We'll definitely go into the nitty gritties of the entire innings. Before that, a summary. Again, 240 bowled out, of course, off the last ball. So whatever you want to make of it, but a couple of half centuries from Rahul and Kohli, and then a very enterprising 47 from Rohit Sharma at the top. That helped India race away to 80 for 1 or 80 for 2, if I'm not wrong, at the end of the first 10 overs. A fantastic platform set for them. Unfortunately, they weren't able to kick on from there, at least not as well as they would have liked to. With the ball in hand, all the three pacers were amongst the wickets. 7 wickets between them, 3 for Stark, and of course 2 for Cummins and Hazelwood. But Anirudh, coming back to the game itself in terms of how the game progressed, we saw Rohit Sharma, how he got out. We saw Shreyas Iyer getting out to a corker there. Do you think the Indian batters could have done something better? And I'm right now being particular about Rahul because there's a lot of chatter going on here and there. I don't agree with the fact that Rahul played a bad knock, but at the same time, I feel he could have been probably a touch quicker. I know boundary scoring was difficult. I'm not expecting him to have scored at a strike rate of 100, but in the 50s, maybe he could have been in the early 70s, late 60s. Do you think that was possible, or am I being unreasonable here?
So I was telling Nikhil of air just before we started the show that you know you can't hit just 3 boundaries in 30 overs, especially after being 80 for 2 in like 10 overs. I feel that they did a fantastic job of rebuilding the innings and taking it deep, and you can't fault Rahul or Kohli for that. Absolutely not. And Kohli, you can have no complaints whatsoever because he batted at a strike rate of what, close to 80 or something in on a pitch like this, and he always kept the scoreboard ticking. But when it comes to Rahul, I would say that I would have probably hoped that he would have added 10-15 more runs extra in that phase between 11 to 40, where it felt that he couldn't even rotate strike. He was playing dot after dot after dot, and he just got too easily tied down. Again, I completely understand why he would do such a thing as well, because look, Shami and Co were exposed for what, 3-4 overs, and they could barely hang on for 3-4 overs today. So if Rahul had got out in the 27th, 28th over, then you're looking at 30 overs of Surya and Shami and all these guys. So I completely can also see why Rahul did what he did. But I would say that you could have tried putting a bit more pressure on Australia. It was too easy for Australia to just keep doing what they were doing. There was a point in time where, if I'm not wrong, Mitchell Marsh and Travis had together bowled 4 overs for 9 runs. So, these are little things, and you have to obviously give due credit to Pat Cummins. I think his captaincy was outstanding. I feel that I've not seen too many better captaincy performances from any captain in white ball cricket for a very long time. The way he managed his resources today, I think there was a 11 over phase where 8 bowlers bowled and nobody bowled more than 1 over continuously. It was a an incredible phase. So yeah, my only complaint is that instead of playing so many dots and instead of just scoring about 76 runs in a 20 over phase, you could have probably stretched it to 95 or 85, so that you get too close to that 260 run mark. So
I mean, big words those in terms of Cummins and his captaincy and all of that. But again, Nikhil bhai, let's ask you as
My
well
X
because
factor. My X factor.
100%, of course. Rahul, the knock. I understand. Like I said before, by no means would I say that he should have, sort of just gone at the runner ball or something like that. But he could have taken a leaf out of Kohli's page, right? Kohli's book, right? Sorry, because Kohli scored 54 runs, had just one boundary or probably a couple of boundaries, had a strike rate in excess of 85. When that was possible, don't you think मतलब थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा तेज और हो सकता था वहाँ पे?
I just have a question. Again, I'm not getting harsh, or did Virat get a boundary for 97 balls?
After power play, he didn't. Yeah.
That's exactly my point. Which is why I'm not. I don't need those boundaries. But Firbi Virat was able to rotate
I
styles
understand.
from
See, my simple logic there is, again, it is not a that I'm having a go at Virat. I'm just saying it could just be me, but I felt maybe their batting made people feel that, or us feel that it was too difficult. But you saw nobody got going. See, there are decks where you see couple of people get going, and you can say that okay, so this guy is getting
Siraj did.
going.
Siraj did.
Please, let's. I mean, we are too far down that line to talk about Siraj looking good. But no disrespect to Siraj, he is going to take a fifer. So उसको side में रख के. So my point, how I looked at the entire inning is Rohit started well. Gill, I'll blame just two people here. I don't even I again Cummins bowled a good ball, to get Shreyas, but I felt Shreyas was hanging back, and Gill and Shreyas are probably the only two people who I felt were out to relatively bad or tricky shots. Everybody else just lost the wicket at the wrong time for India. You lost Rohit to a very good catch. After that, I felt Kohli and KL were playing to the plan of we will bat till the 30th over without taking any risk, which is the way to go. Now, because how I felt is because Kohli was going at a good rate, KL never felt the need to take that risk. That Rohit is going at a very good rate. He's able to rotate strike. I'll just get my time. Now, see, this is the risk that this strategy will always have. That if you are playing deep and you're not, I mean, this is something that we have discussed to death, and how ironic that it is KL only. Okay, when the acceleration doesn't come, you always feel that this innings has left a lot to be desired. But if he stays, like you take the last game example, he came in, he took his time. Now, if he gets out immediately before getting those boundaries, you will feel that, arey yaar, how did he get out? It's a poor knock. But that is the risk you run. And with this batting, you saw how Surya, Jadeja, and everybody else played. I have zero hopes from them. So for me, I knew that for India to have any chance to get close to 270, 260, KL had to bat till the 45th over. And he did not accelerate. Yes, that is something that I'll buy. Okay, 10-15 run or ho sakte the. But if he had to take risk to do that, at that point of time, I wouldn't have taken it. So I think that is, I'll just have that context with me. नहीं होता तो नहीं होता, you can't मतलब do much more than that, because everybody struggled, right? So it's ऐसा नहीं है कि only one guy struggled at one end. So let's see.
100%. That definitely a lot of divided opinions, a lot of polarized opinions there. But yeah, at the end of the day, as sad or as bad as it might sound, the result will dictate, how good or bad this performance will be in hindsight, and how people will look at this, which is unfortunate, but it is true. It is what it is. And talking about how it was like for Australian Pacers, Anirudh, this is the pitch map in terms of the lengths they targeted and where they got their wickets from. Every wicket they got today was from the 6 meter or shorter length. What do you think about the pitch and how it played today? And do you think Australia got their lengths bang on from the get-go?
Yeah, I mean, see, about 80% of the overs were bowled by the Pacers, and I felt, except for maybe a couple of over pitch deliveries here and there, I don't think they even bowled a single bad ball, let alone being loose. So Rohit capitalized well, but again, the best thing that they did was they kept striking regularly, and even though they considered 80 in the power play, if you would have offered them Gill and Rohit both inside the power play, I would have happily taken it, because it's two crucial wickets, right? So here's where the match turned, in my opinion, at least in the first innings. So you got Rohit in the final over the power play, yes. But then Iyer falling 2 balls later completely killed India's plan. They wanted Iyer to stay to kind of negate Zampa and Maxwell and Head and all these guys. I don't know how much damage he could have done. But at least the plan for India would have been for Kohli to bat through and Iyer to take a bit of risk. Once Iyer got out within the first 5 balls of his innings, it meant that Rahul was into the middle within the 12th over, and then you only had Jadeja, Sky, and Shami, and all these guys. So from there, basically, India could not afford to make a single mistake. So that is where the entire plan got upset for India. So that way, I have to credit Cummins' captaincy again. Cummins' bowling, you know, everyone, I think, except for Hazelwood, I thought Hazelwood was a bit poor in the power play. I would say that Hazelwood made up well in the last 12 or so overs with the reverse swing, once the reverse swing set in. But I thought Hazelwood was poor in the power play. But apart from him, I felt it was a brilliant performance from every single one. And I'll include Mitchell Marsh as well. He bowled 2 overs for like 3 or 4 runs, and he did not bowl a single ball, outside off stump or outside leg stump. He kept zoning in on the middle, top of middle, and then he kept changing his pace, and he almost got Kohli out with an inside edge as well, if I'm not wrong. That just went wide of English, I guess. So, like I said, if Australia, even in their dreams, they would not have imagined executing their plans this perfectly. So they have
Yeah.
done all they can with the ball. It's now whether they can back it up and also
Yeah.
actually, pull out a good batting performance.
So
100%.
turns out the MVP who was Hardik Pandya, okay, injured ho gaya. So today you missed him.
Always, always. And
See, this is
again,
see, this is what
it's
we will hear, and this is why you know everybody has been harping about. Okay, we talked about this in the preview also. Okay, there are risks that you run with every combination. Now, I don't know who is planning this, that somehow it eventually finds a very big day for it to come off very, very wrongly. But that it happens. So I think you just have to be open to that bit as well. And as Anirudh said, in this 16 minutes, we haven't heard one thing that Australia got wrong. So if a side is giving you a 10 on 10 bowling performance from the other end, surely there is something that you for all can also credit them. Ke bhai, they bowled well. Now you have an idea how to bowl on this deck. So why not use that to your just advantage as well?
exactly, and coming to the important question, I know a lot of you guys have been asking, the most important question, and of course we will get to that in due course. But before that, guys, 75 of you watching, please, please, please make sure you're hitting the like button. More people will get to know. We're trying to build a community here. It'll go a long way in helping us do that. And also make sure you subscribe to us if you haven't already. It's great to see so many people tuning in because we all know how important a game this is for all you guys. I know most of our viewers right now would be Team India fans, and they would be wanting to believe that Team India can win, and they would want to hear that from our experts as well. Let's start, guys. 241 to chase. Do you think this is a pass score, a decent score for the Indian bowlers to defend? Anirudh, let's start with you.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, because again, maybe we look back on that 80 scored in the first 10 overs as a very big deal because run scoring was almost impossible after that, especially boundary hitting was impossible after that. But see, I think the match will depend on two things. One is how much Australia can score in the power play. If they score over 70, 75, then they have an upper hand. And also, how much the dew plays a role in this match because every match in Ahmedabad has been affected by dew so far in this World Cup. Every single contest, yeah, only once has a team defended successfully, like I said a few minutes ago, which is Australia against England. But even in that match, there was like so much dew. So these two factors, which are really one is a controllable for India, the power play. The dew is not a controllable. So likewise for Australia, the power play is a controllable. The dew is not controllable. So I guess India would really want to see someone like Travis Head get out within the first 2 overs because he just has that knack of playing these 30-40 run cameos, which you just don't. You have no time to react to it before you realize. Before you blink, he's on 40 and the score is like 60 for no loss in like 7 overs. And then once this target gets reduced to like 170, 180, then it will be on the bowlers to kind of pile on the pressure, and the pressure will turn on the bowling team to kind of have a perfect bowling performance. So then only you'll see more loose balls or people trying too hard and all that stuff. So I think it's a non-negotiable that India take at least 2 wickets in the first 5 overs. I think they need 2 wickets in the first 5 overs at least.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Those are some big expectations and big requirements that Anirudh is asking of India. Nikhil bhai, 240, Shami, Jasprit, Siraj with the new ball. Do you think this is doable for India?
Of course, it is doable. Why not? Or you've seen that India defended very well against England. Uh, I don't know whether it is a better surface or a tough surface or a easier surface than that. But as Anirudh said, Dew did come in then also. I don't know, but maybe a bit too late. So not sure of that. But as he said, this game is about those first 4 wickets. You take
Hmm.
those first 3 4 wickets, because 240 is a kind of score where you can't allow the partnership to drift at any point of time. So this is about those first 4 wickets as early as you can get them. As he said, पहले 5 में आपको 2 चाहिए, which is again that is because of Travis said. Because if Travis, and see, Australia also know that the best way to put a lot of pressure of India is by going after them in the power play. So because they also know that India will come for wickets. So you can't get a better setup than that. They know batting will be best in the first, because see, dew is something you don't know how much it will come, when it will come, and whether it will make the. Sometimes we saw that with South Africa game as well, that it got more bounce
Yeah.
when the dew came in for South Africa. But again, India don't have the stall paces to use it, but they did use the spray. But again, we don't know. So for India, simple plan है, 10 very good balls. That's all. अब जितना तुमको काउंट डाउन करना है, जो करना है करना कर दो, because everything has come down to this: 240 runs, 10 balls. They can get it. You have enough matchups sorted. Travis said, just don't do a WTC. That's my only request. हाथ जोड़ के बोल रहा हूँ, मेरे को
I
बाकी
think
कोई चीज
owners
से,
also shouldn't do what they did to Travis Head in the WTC.
मेरे को कोई चीज से I have no complaints with the batting plan and all of that, but I'll take off if they wait to bowl short or not get their plans right to Travis Head. See, you bowl to your plans, he plays well, great. You can't do much, but you can't give it on a platter. So that's all. And they'll do well. Trust them. If not, कुछ नहीं, क्या कर सकते?
Definitely, and the reason why we're talking so much about this is because we know what's on the line here. And for those who don't, the lowest score defended here, I mean here as in a World Cup final, of course, is 183 by India in the 1983 World Cup. And then the next lowest total defended is 249, which means India in some sense is also chasing another bit of history here. They'll have to defend the second lowest total ever in the history of World Cup finals. That's not going to be easy, especially given how Dew is expected to play and how Cummins himself said yesterday that, the Aussies, they like to shut a big crowd, which is pretty much what they did all along, all during the game. I know a lot of you guys have been asking a lot of questions. We'll try and take as many as possible. There's been a flurry of comments, so again, just forgive us if we're not able to take all of them. We'll take as many as possible before we wrap this up. Firstly, Kanan asks, does being the slow wicket nullify Jadeja's effectiveness? Anirudh, let's start with you. Do you agree with what Kanan has to say here?
Not really, because against Pakistan also he was effective, and also I think again, if I remember, there was one ball of Zampa that drifted in viciously and then turned away. Like, I've never seen Zampa turn the ball that much through a conventional leg spinner. So if that's the case for Zampa, then you know what Jadeja can do on these kind of surfaces. But like I said before the match started, Australia will be very happy that they don't have to face 30 overs of spin. They only have 20 overs of spin. So now that they know the target as well, I feel they can plan accordingly. They can probably sit on Jadeja, sit on Kuldeep or whoever, and then like take on some of the seamers. Let's see. And I think the players are out in the middle, so it's better we wrap up sooner rather than later.
Yeah, they just can't stand the thought of missing the first ball of yet another innings. Yep, 100%. Thank you so much, guys. I know we haven't been able to take as many comments as possible, but thank you so much for tuning in. We'll 100% get into all of this and a lot more in the review. We'll also be talking about how happy all Team India fans are having lifted the trophy during the review. Gurkirat will be joining Nikhil and Anirudh then. So you'll have 3 experts. You'll have a lot of fun, a lot of details to be discussed, a lot of data to be discussed. It's been great. Great. It's been great bringing this coverage to you. We're all hoping that Team India wins. I know at least Nikhil Bhai is, and I'm also deep down rooting for them, of course. Let's hope they win. But of course, for all the Australian cricket team fans, let's hope you guys win as well. Let's hope there's a great game, and let's hope we don't start the review before 10 o'clock. You can already hear. Nothing's happened.
Warner edged between keeper and we can first slip and second slip for a boundary.
Okay, let's leave.
Yeah. I can't stand this anymore. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Have a great game. Let's hope we don't see you guys before 10 o'clock. See you till then.
Cheers.